Hi, my name's Scott Anderson. I'm trying a different camera angle. Now you can see my bulletin board behind me and my printer behind me, and some of the various things I store on shelves that I've collected over the years. Always fun. Anyway, this week we're kind of talking a little bit about knowledge management. Now I've talked a number of times and I've published a number of articles about knowledge management. But this week I wanted to kind of give you a use case. Um, right, there's a reality, right? Anytime you have information in a company, it exists in two forms: tacit and explicit. Now, when we talk about tacit knowledge, that's knowledge in somebody's head. Pardon me. That knowledge doesn't get written down. Explicit knowledge is knowledge that is written down and shared. Um, the two are very important. They coexist well. They exist in every organization and they exist in every single human being's life, right? You write your taxes down, the IRS doesn't, or whatever country's revenue service you have, that service doesn't let you not write it down, right? So you're going to write down your tax information. That's explicit knowledge. Um, but some of the things that you might not write down, including, right, I know there's one circuit in my house. Most houses have one circuit that just, no matter what, if you overload that circuit, it blows, right? It's got a GFI circuit and it blows every time, right? We have one circuit like that in our house, and I know exactly how to fix it. I've never written it down, so I can't necessarily say to somebody else, "Hey, I wrote it down. Go read how to fix it," because I never did. That's tacit knowledge. Tacit knowledge is very important. And one of the things that kind of intrigues me, one of the things that I'm thinking about is the fact that one of the largest generations in American as well as global history is that generation that occurred right after World War II. From 1945 to 1960, one of the largest population explosions the world's ever seen. We went, after World War II, there was just a massive population explosion. Well, those people, in many cases, are getting to the point, like myself, where you're going to retire. And that's going to be a big bubble, a big bubble. But with knowledge management systems designed around AI and information capture, we can actually solve that problem before it happens. And so I have an example of an employee named Susan. Susan knows the system because she's been around. Before there was computers, before there was automation in her career, she's seen how that process works, every way it's ever been done. She knows how it works very, very well. So what we do is we go to Susan and we say, "Okay, Susan, first of all, you've said you're retiring in 6 months. We're very happy for you. That's, you've been a valued employee, you've been a valued partner, you've been a valued coworker. We want you to be successful in your life. Thank you for everything you've done for the company. We would like to give you a small stipend for the end of the year, and in return for that small stipend, we would like you to do one thing and one thing only. That is wear a video or a voice recording pin. The Plowed pin is a great example of a tool that will do that because it converts everything to text. So, you've got the capacity to do that. We want you to record every meeting that you're in, right? And what we can then do is build an HDMI, Human Design Machine Intelligence system, that will filter through all that data and ultimately give us what Susan knows, right? So then we, as an organization, once Susan does retire, can still ask the question, what would Susan do? Now, in the past, right, you would queue up to go to Susan. Let's say 10 people had the same problem and they all 10 had to go to Susan. Susan's one person, right? She can deal with one person at a time, maybe two, maybe 10 on a conference call, but that takes time out of everybody's day, and nobody's in the same place, right? So, this way you can go to the HDMI system, and we can now have 100 people solving the problems that Susan knew how to solve by simply saying, "What would Susan do?" Going to the system and using it. So that's one of the things that I've been thinking about. The technology's in place. We could do this today. It's not hard. It's not, onerous. It's just something that companies haven't thought about. But with that baby boomer generation getting ready to retire, this is something we should start thinking about. I didn't just lose my hair. There's information in that head that doesn't get written down. I'm a really big proponent of sharing. I share a lot of stuff. I share code on my GitHub. I share blogs. I share ideas. I share things like this all the time. I believe in sharing, and I don't share everything. And I know I don't share everything. I'm working very hard to make sure everything in my head gets eventually out, but I can't get everything out. If I don't know what people need to know, I don't know what to tell them. So it's just an idea, a thought for a knowledge management system that takes some of the risk of people retiring out of people retiring. My name's Scott Anderson. Thank you so much for showing up for my extended video, What's on Scott's Mind?